subscribe for more videos.
Welcome back, everybody, to some more EU4 as the Kongo, and it is 1591, 25th of March. We've got a friend we need to get rid of. Mogadishu still has an agreement we're paying for. Where's that? Cancel military access. There it is. So we were paying for one too many relationships. There were two too many relationships, actually. We're now paying for one too many relationships. Looking up into Europe, the average research level is 15 right now. There is some 16s, actually. Interesting. Does anybody have 16 in military? I don't see a 16 miltech. Somebody's ahead in Diplo. Yeah, so it's not too early to get 16. So that's probably where we need to head. We got a decision available. Oh, yes, right. I just reloaded. So we got the Congolese Navy option. That would give us a explorer and some naval tradition. We're not sitting too low in the naval tradition, I don't think. We're at 72, so that would cap it out. So it's not a bad idea if we do that one. It's just not necessary because we're not able to utilize it with the next one yet either. So I mean, that's why we're pushing. Part of the reason we're pushing for the tech boost for across the board. We're quite behind on a few of them. Diplo is going to be a little difficult. We have been focused in on a leader that's military right now because the first and most important one is to get to level 16 in military as soon as possible. Running 9 points isn't spectacular. We might be able to bump that up. For instance, if we got somebody who was a level 2, that would be helpful. But for now, that's where we leave it with the tech. We fixed the Mogadishu issue with the extra Diplo issue. We could put points into quantity ideas, but again, I do want to focus in on growing the military tech. We're sitting at Songhai at 14, and we have... if we could see, yes, and we have Timbuktu at 14 as well, and the Mamluks are also at 14. Now, my concern is that if we attack somebody in here, we will be facing the Mamluks at the same time. If we declare war on Songhai, we would be able to bring in Nupe and Yao as co-belligerents, not necessary. So we'll be fighting Nupe and Yao, which are allies of, at least, maybe they're vassals, I don't know, of the Songhai. And the Mamluks are said that they're going to come in to defend. If we bring in the British, we substantially outnumber them. However, the British are going to have a heck of a time getting there to participate in this war. Where are we at for Diplo relations? I'm going to go ahead and bring back the relations here and here. We are working on more claims in the Songhai. The other option is that we could bring in the war against Timbuktu, who's basically a non-entity now. So if I go to the province here and I go to consider declaring war on Timbuktu, it's Tafalat is going to come into this war, and they're up here, and they're basically also a non-entity right now. There is some land claimed by Timbuktu held by Timbuktu against the Songhai, but that's not going to last long. But what this would do, we don't want to bring them in because they've got friends. What this is going to do is if it brings the Mamluks in, I believe we've confirmed that the Mamluks would be able to call their allies in. So this number is false. However, they would also enter the war, and then the 474 distant war issue that Ethiopia has with choosing not to join this war would disappear. So I'd be able to bring in Ethiopia as well. So let's look at the numbers, the Mamluks and who they have. So if we were to directly attack the Mamluks, we would have the Mamluk in Australia, Morocco, Tunis, and Persia all involved in this war. So Persia is going to be an issue if they're able to bring in troops down into Ethiopia. I don't imagine too many of the conflicts would be happening in the frontier here in our lands. This is only literally one way through here. Now, it might be that they are able to do something about it, but they would be able to wander through here. This is wasteland. That's desert. If I had a fortress in one of these areas, that would be better. However, we don't, and the nearest one is do we have one down here anymore? I don't think we do. I think we just have the capital, which is working on its fort. Is it finished? It has completed its bastion, And then we have over here in Benin, who is also the walls of Benin and a bastion going in there. So those are the only two defensible forted locations that we've got. So I think we should be able to blitz up through here. And then since Songhai and Timbuktu have access through each other, and Tafalat would also probably get access to come down here, I think we could push up this way. We would have Morocco and Tunisia. So let's have a look at, oh, Tunisia has 15, eh? And Morocco has military tech 15. So they would be facing, we'd be facing those guys with a higher Miltech. Miltech 15 is going to give us a better infantry, as well as more tactics and land morale. A huge boost in land morale. So we obviously want to finish up these last few... What's it going to take? Let's say we got 30, 40? We had 50, 45 more points. So we have five or 6 months before we'll be able to get Miltech's 15. I think we're going to go ahead and wait for that. Consider activating this, and if we're able to activate it, we'd be fighting where would be the frontier. I think we'll probably be fighting with our largest groups over here. So let's take this group. We can respond naval-wise over here. I think it would be good to bring the fleet over there. We have our trade fleet and our carrier fleet, our transport fleet. We actually only have part of the transport fleet here. The other one is over in Australia. The Australian fleet is... Where's the troops from the Australian fleet? Wait a second. Where's my troops? I thought I had troops over here in Australia. Why do we... Oh, they're in the ships right now. Right. They're on the ships right now, and they're transporting to be prepared for the Mamluk and Australia fight. So this group over here, he does have the leader who's a 2201. So he should be able to take care of the Mamluk and Australian fleet. So long as there's not a host of others defending them. So if the Mamluks have like one of their islands where they've got a bunch of troops and they can bring them down to respond, that'd be bad. Oh, Australia is 18k units. Really? Wow, I don't think we'll have much time needed in here then. Hold on. Instead of that, why don't we... Is there any forts down here? Where's their capital? Right here. That's really all we need to do then. So instead of that, just dock and you walk over here. I'm going to bring this... Leave this fleet probably stable here. That's fine. What I need to do is look to the west here, because we have ships here that are going to need to come and dock. You know what? Hold on. Go ahead and cancel that. I'm going to bring you guys instead down to join the transports. Bring you down to dock with these guys. Actually, over here. Over here. And we'll bring these guys over this way as well. Okay, so they can be not actively sniped by the Persians, the Persians might have a fleet. Let's check. Give more detail, the better. Military. Let's go with navies of Persia. The Persian navy is non-existent. Okay, and the Tunisian navy. Tunisian navy is 49 ships. They've got some galleys, some lights, and some heavies. That's not nothing. Morocco. Morocco has 6, 18, 0, and 3. Jeepers. What's Great Britain's fleet like? 20 heavies, 54 light. So they could definitely bring some guns to bear, that's for sure. Tafalat won't have any. Timbuktu won't have any. The Mamluks is what we need to know about then. The Mamluks. Mamluk in Australia is basically non-existent, but Mamluks 13, 19. So we could probably spar with the Mamlukan fleet if we had all our troops together, all our fleet together. I think the goal will be, once we move these guys over, I think we'll unify this fleet with this one, and we'll focus in on taking out stuff, joining up with the British fleet basically up this way, and try to use call the Brits in and try to use things to work with them up here. Now, Ethiopia will be in hot water if the Mamlukans have all of their forces here. What is Ethiopia's military-like. They have very little ships, but they do have ships, which is nice to see. But I'm looking at the infantry. They got 31,000 infantry up there, or troops up there total, which is not a lot. The Mamlukans have 89,000. And look at Australia will be a non-entity once it'll get relatively rapidly crushed and taken out. And then Tunis and Morocco. This is a planning session, apparently. 35k with 23,000 manpower in Tunis. Morocco. Morocco's sitting with about 30k as well. That's going to be the bulk of the battle. It's going to be up in here. Because Morocco and Tunis will probably have access down through the south here, so they'll try to come stomping their way through here. And they'll meet our 60-something K if we can pick the battlegrounds, which might be difficult into the fog of war. Should we use this to try to buy maps? Can we purchase maps from you guys? Request share maps. Have no diplomat sent. Okay. We'll let a diplomat come back. So I think we're pulling everything back to the right location. Our cash is still quite positive. I discovered that Persia has canceled military access that are generously given by us. Oh, okay. That's smart of them. Very smart. Mogadishu is allied with Yemen and the Timurids. Okay. Mogadishu is no longer steering trade to us. That's no surprise. We can sell titles. No, thank you. Not of interest. Relations with Benin and Dagbon need to be improved, but let's go ahead and get our friend here to request maps. What I want to request maps is Niger and Sahel. Niger. Please do that. And then, oh, we've got no, oh, we have to do it a different way. Intercolonial trade. The ports of Kongo, our interests are theirs. Australia gains liberty desire, and we gain a mercantilism, or we lose a mercantilism. We have lots of free space on the liberty desire, but I do need to bring in more people, and I don't want to keep dragging that up. These guys will be solved over time. The Pate are mostly, oh, diverting trade. We're asking them to divert trade, which is causing them to be grumpy a bit. So we could offset that if we needed to. Yeah, we'll take the increased mercantilism. Map share done. Okay, now if I talked to Oyo, ask them to trade with Sahel. All right, there we go. So that gives us visuals through this area. That's Yao. Okay, Nupe and Yao. Are you guys? You guys are allied with Songhai. Then allied and married to Songhai and Nupe. So it's basically us and the Songhai and their allies, and Timbuktu is, you know, basically in danger zone here. They their troops ran away, and they're sitting up there. That's what's happening. So target of this Timbuktu would probably end. This would probably end unless. Oh, this would be interesting. I wonder if that war would even trigger, would even stay stable. If we go to war, we may the enemy of Timbuktu might be fully absorbed by Songhai, ending that war. And would that give us an opportunity to snipe anything in the meantime? We got to wait a few months until we can get our tech up. So I don't know if we're even going to be able to strike at them. We might have to go straight at Songhai, which is a different alliance chain. Not really. It's Nupe and Yao. So instead, if we attack Timbuktu directly, we've just got Tafalafalafalat instead of, so we got this guy and this guy is the smaller hit instead of these three. So it would be a bigger battle, and it probably would be the same military mercenary access. Oh, the new mercenary company. Gotcha. Champagne, discovering the religious civil disorder in Champagne. Champagne is a place by itself now? Really? Interesting. All right. Explorer's ready. Oh, okay. I mean, we could send him off to explore. Pacific South American coast? No, no, no. Yeah, not that one. Not Pacific South American coast. I'd like you to explore Southeast Pacific coast. Pacific South America Sea. Sure, do that. Because we got a couple months still to burn. It's close. We have actually only like 2 months to burn. Conversion successful and no more conversions to be done. Look at that. We got 2, but we can't convert them right now because they've got negative functionality for conversions. Too many diplomatic relations we know about. That's no problem. We have loans. Yes, we do. We did take out a bazillion. Why did we drop to negative dollars? How the heck did we just drop to negative cash? Army maintenance hasn't jumped, so our trade has dropped off by like 25 or 30 ducats? Why? Why? Why'd that happen? Lost our CB against? Oh, that's fine. I don't need CBs against my own friends. War spoils might have depleted there. Not sure. Rainfall in the Gulf of Guinea. Colony self-sustaining. Excellent. And it's joined Australia, which means we're now free to get more colonial domination. Now, the trade flow is into here is straight out 1 only. So the spot I need to actually move trade through would be, or get more trade power in, is up here. Let's see about who doesn't own land, all the lands up here. We could go with the Marshall Islands. Lovely choice. Nauru. Go down here into the Vanuatu. We could go over this way. Is that, no, that's already occupied. That's already occupied. That's already occupied. What about up here? Kiribati. Marshalls. Micronesia. No, that's Guam. Guam sounds important. Let's go to Guam. Guam or... I thought Mamluks are up there. There's a lot of island chains that islands and island chains that the Mamluks own right now. There's nothing likely to go. You're not ahead of time in this technology. That's good. There's nothing really that's going to affect that number. So now it is, because what's the 5 years ahead of time? Okay, so 15 is the par right now. To go to 16 is to go ahead of time. I love that idea. All right, military upgrade for the infantry. I'm thinking we're going to go switching into focusing in on fire. Wait a second. Fire with the higher balance. Central African Musketeers. Sounds good to me. Condottieri. No, thank you. The truces here, none of them matter. 94 for another 3 years, so we're good there. All right. So that's all done. Now, is this war over yet? Timbuktu? If I declare war here... Oh, you know what? I'll probably just lose Timbuktu and still be in the other war. Probably. So this would be a way to get them in. It wouldn't end the war, because I think Timbuktu won't hold control of this war if the Mamluks join in. Oh, what the heck is going on with my... Oh, my dudes have to retrade. Oh no, that's not what I need. Timbuktu. What's the 57% chance the siege wins right now? So let's do this war now. Group up. The fleet down here needs to come in to meet up with our friends here. This fleet can come meet our friends here. Okay, and these boys are probably going to... I don't even know if we'll get access through Adel. If we don't, that'd be okay for us and terrible for Ethiopia. You guys probably should back out a little bit. You'll need... We just hit the month end, dang it. Let's go further towards the end of the month. Like to try to snipe here. Oh, no, hold on. Declare war. We will go after that, and we will not bring in their... What the heck? Oh, Great Britain just joined another war? Seriously, Great Britain? Oh, the Huron, really? The Huron and the Haida, really? I declare war here. You're not going to join. Oh my god, we just lost the whole chance to get the war because of them. Oh, come on. That's really, really cheesy annoying. So automatically took out another loan as well. Oh man, what a kick in the teeth. England's just like, yeah, I'm in this super important war. You're fighting a colonial, not even a colonial power. You're fighting the Huron, Miami, Haida, and Yakuts over here. And that's why you won't go to war. Arg. Even if we attack Songhai, they're just not interested. Bloody heck. If I ask them to prepare for war, that'll only give them +10, right? Let's see if I can do that. No. They are at war, so they will not prepare for war, and it's 10 favors, they would not work. Arg. I mean, we could boost the trust a little. Not going to change. Not going to change the situation. We just lost our opportunity. Bloody heck. Wait. I intervene in war? Oh my. Oh, no, it used to be another great power. Right. I was like, oh, how is that even possible? It's not. That's how. Bloody heck. If I offer them alliance, they would not be able to bring us in either. Arrgh. Now, are you guys... Oh. I can declare war. Oh my goodness, I didn't think to look at this. Wait. No. How the heck does Malupe get to be the defender of the faith when this is not a Sunni? Oh, it is Sunni. There's not other provinces. Their provinces are majority fetishist, but they're a Sunni faith province, which means I would still have the same problem. We declare war there, we got the same problem, and we have the distant war thing now. Songhai would not join in? What? Occupied precision malevolent. So Songhai would not join in. We'd have Nupe, Yao, and not Songhai, which means we could then separate a war, declare a war against Songhai that would not bring the Mamluks in. That is a possibly good thing. But again, we don't have Great Britain on our side, which means we don't have the navy to fight them, and because they'll bring all their allies. Arrgh, curse you, Britain! The one time I need you. The one time I call on you and you're like, I'm busy. I'm busy with this super important thing up north. Off in the other world. You jerks. Malindi, 50% chance of some noble rebels or 50% chance of no effect. Gain autonomy, Malindi. Mani gain land, or noble rebels and they lose loyalty. There's the rebels. Goodbye. Don't be dumb rebels, okay? That's so frustrating. All of that prep, only for them to just say, meh, no thank you. England's changed their mind. The fickle allies. Our fickle allies. Alright, you, no. That's not the end of that. That's not the end of the truce there. Okay. That's annoying. Very annoying. Super duper ultra annoying. These brigs can go hang out down here then. And our 8 trade ships doing their thing. These guys can go back to trade because, dang it, there's no point. Oh my. Wait, the Gulf of Aden and Malacca both produce substantially more money for us? I don't believe that. That can't be true. Can that be true? Are those numbers calculated right? Okay, we're making 27.33. Okay, so we'll let the month, it just ended, so January just ended, so we'll wait till February, and if it doesn't prove out, also March if we need to. We're going to go and send them to protect trade in one of these other places. Let's say the Gulf of Aden, because it's closer. It says the trade value, we estimate this will change our trade value from 4 ducats to 1316 or 1326. A 9.26 profit. Well, the fleet will cost 1.83 to maintain, thus a 743 profit. This fleet will add 139 trade power to the zone. So the Gulf of Aden right now we sit at 10% of the 10% of the trade in this zone. We are here with a total 113. So it'll double, basically, slightly more than double our trade power in the area. The not retained amount here is 1075. Right now, collecting from trade. Kongo has 10% of the trade among countries collecting for trade. We're not collecting from trade. We should be automatically moving trade forward. Should we not? Our merchant's not here collecting trade. No, he's transferring trade to power to Zanzibar. So this is where what bothers me with a few of these. They kind of give mixed signals. Now I'm saying that it's 7.4. It says that it's 743 in profit. Profit would mean that we make 743 more in trade, right? So we would have to get, what would that be, the 44 ducats? No, 34 ducats. 34 plus ducats would be required, just shy of 35. 34, 43 would be, okay, 3470-ish would be what this would be if that number's accurate. And what I think is happening is that they're calculating those raw differences of what this trade agreement will be. And just saying, right now we have this much trade power value there. We'd now get 1326, and it doesn't count the percentage that's going forward and the total calculation. I don't think that this 920 or 743 in profit means that it'll be 743 increase in here. I'm 85% sure that's wrong. I would be happy if that was the case. I just don't think these things do that calculation. So let's look at that, because that would make sense if we were dealing with if the calculation was running the entire process through down the line to calculate our differences. I don't think it is. This is so annoying that the Timbuktu thing failed. Thanks, England. Dimwits. That doesn't actually hold there. Come down here. You come down here. Annoying. We could grab this light ship and have it protect trade also in the Gulf of Aden. No, that'd be bad. Hold on. Cancel mission. Because that'll mess up my math. I'll just leave it. Let the math finish. So that other trade party is down here. They're not there yet. It's still February. Okay, so we're now at the end of February. We've switched into March, and the trade has not changed. It's gone up by 0.33. Okay, so obviously this can't be calculating yet, or it's devastatingly lower than it says it is. Because it's adding our trade power in the node. We're still showing 10%. So it's not showing that any of our current trade power has changed. That would be because the ships haven't made it there. It's now April, and we've still not seen a noticeable change in our... Oh, that's not us. We're up here now. So yes, we do now have our ships there. So let's look at what our new trade number is, 3085. So maybe they weren't counting a full month there, and we only get half the effect because we only got half a month there. I still feel like that's not going to change, but if we hit May and all of a sudden, hey, 100 population Bonnie. If we hit May and now our trade goes up to the 34, 35 that it's supposed to, which it did not, then we should see the numbers. We do have now the 20% here, and we're not making, we've only doubled, we've only added 4 ducats worth of transfer to Zanzibar. See what I mean? Numbers do not add up at all. So 4 ducats transfer to Zanzibar. Maybe that multiplier by the time it gets down the line, does it need like each month to progress? Let's watch it. Let's give it even, it was January, so let's give it another 2 or 3 months. Maybe the trade from here, now that it's fully queued up and says, hey, I'm transferring this trade power for 2 months. Now this money is coming in from Zanzibar. Incoming from Zanzibar is 643. Not the 8 that it said it was. Still not the 8 that it says it was. So here says it's transferring. We are transferring 801 to Zanzibar. We look here, the incoming from Zanzibar does not show 801. It shows 640. 643. Unfortunately. And the 25 ducats is now going out to there. Okay. I mean, still a couple more months. We're at 31 ducats. 32.52. Is it cascading down the line? Is that what happens? Like, it has to spend a month here, and then it has to spend another month going here, and then it has to spend another month going to the Ivory Coast, and then we collect it? Possible. We'll go one more month end, and then we'll end the episode, but we'll have a look at those numbers change. 32.46. 32.46 is 25 to 30% lower than it said it would be. So that is not proven out to be accurate, although it is better than I expected. It's proven better than I anticipated, but again, there could be other variations affecting those numbers dramatically there. Let's see how the English are doing in their conflict. Are they willing to join yet? No, but they're getting better. Their trust is up by 5. That's something. Mamluks are heavily in debt. Positive 25. Unfortunately, I can't do anything to bump that even higher. Are they winning their war? Is England rapidly concluding this war or what? Plus 40. So they are very rapidly crushing their opponents in England. Maybe we'll get a chance. I don't know why Timbuktu has not responded, but we shall see in a little bit, I guess. Next episode to see where they're at. They've taken occupied by Timbuktu, occupied by Timbuktu. Yeah, see this war. They're winning handedly. They're probably going to wrap that up before we get a chance to respond to it. But I don't know. I think this trade is false information, but maybe it's just that I've never been patient enough to let it run an entire month out. Let's finish into September. Let's look at those numbers. Did we hit 35 bucks in trade? No. We are $3 short of the 7 that it said it was going to, 7.5 it said it was going to give us. 2.5 maybe if we're being generous. Yeah, so I think there might be some sort of delayed effect going on there. Like, you send the merchants there, they have to get to the region. Once they're actually sailing in the region, then they add their trade power. That seemed to be how it did. And then, oh, what the heck? It said it was going to add 100 and something ships. It did not add 100 something ships. They said they were going to add 137 trade power, and they've added nowhere near that number. But 241.5 is what we're getting in the zone. So those ships didn't even add the amount of trade power they said they would. That is bizarre. So if I cancel this and I go protect trade in the Gulf of Aden, yeah, it shows 140 trade power. This fleet will add 140 trade power to the Gulf of Aden. When finished, it added 94. There's so many mixed numbers in the trade info. They're all in there somewhere, but I can't parse them out. If you guys know the difference, let me know. We're going to switch it up and bring them over here. And we know that we got to 31 and change in trade this month. 31.76. Right? And we started at 37.33. So we got about 4.5 instead of the 7.5 that we were supposed to get. Not 7, yeah, so we didn't get 7.5, we got about 4.5. Now this one is saying if we trade them, if we send the merchants, these ships, to the Ivory Coast, it's saying that we will get 5.16 in profit. So again, we're canceling the previous trade and shifting them elsewhere. So we should drop back down to the 27 once we change this and the month ends, because we won't have that trade power here. Right? We'll drop back down to 10% trade power here. And then we should gain the 100, it says 134, but of course we don't have that much, but we should gain 100, according to the information, 135, 140, whatever it was, trade power in this zone. Because the ship fleet is worth 140 whatever trade power. We'll bring that up in here, and then that should bring our trade up by 5 ducats, it says here, which probably would be more accurate, but it won't bring it up from 31.76 because the downstream trade that it was producing will now disappear. So many variables here. I'm no super pro at this, so give me your feedback if you know how we should be dealing with those missions. Thanks everyone for joining me. Have yourselves a great rest of the day. See you in game.